so excited tonight to be on the Talk of Life talk show with Elma. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Are you really excited? She got on fire, fire, fire. It's getting hot in here. Oh, that's because that's co-host Kimberly. And then we have down there, what is her name?
Cynthia.
Co-host Cynthia. All right, we love to have fun on the Talk of Life talk show with Elma. This is a Christian-based talk show, and so that means we need a scripture, okay?
Yes.
So our favorite scripture is Philippians 1:6. Being confident of this very thing, that he which has begun a good work in you will finish it until the day of Jesus Christ. And that's an awesome thing because we have a lot of work to do, and we want to do what we can while we can. That's what my father-in-law used to say. Our motivational saying is, great opportunities often disguise themselves in small tasks. Okay, so tonight we're excited. Are y'all excited?
Excited.
Are you excited?
We're excited.
Yes.
We're excited to have Sabrina and Carlos on the show tonight. And this is such an exciting point because we have a Carlos on our back team back there that always giving us good advice and everything. And now we got a Carlos up here that's going to give us good advice tonight. Because Carlos started out, he said, I'm covered by the blood. I like that, Carlos. We're covered by the what?
Blood.
By the blood.
So we're we're going to have so much fun tonight. And tonight we're going to be talking about interracial couples, okay? And this is a couple married couple up here.
Married.
And they're excited to share their story. We're going to be asking questions because we know that if it had not been for God on their side, let me get an amen.
Amen.
All right. They probably would be sitting up here now. But anyway, hi, Sabrina.
Amen.
How are you?
Hi,
Y'all give it up for Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina.
She looks beautiful.
All right,
Yes.
you're so
Gorgeous.
beautiful, Sabrina.
Gorgeous.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thanks for
Carlos,
coming.
give it up for Carlos. Woo!
Give it up for myself.
All right, Carlos been on our show when we had the fatherhood, and we was talking about how fathers raise their children and everything. So tonight we're going to hear about how Carlos met this beautiful woman up here named Sabrina. All right, I like that.
Yeah, she's
Carlos and Sabrina. All right, look, she had to change that. Then she looked over
Change
there.
that position.
Look at, she started looking at Carl. Hey, look, we ain't doing no hanky panky up here, okay? All right. Okay, I know she got excited when I said that. Okay. All right, Carlos and Sabrina, tell us how you all met. Ooh, look at
He did that Barry White
Look at
lean.
that
He
line.
did that
Look at
Barry
that
White
line.
lean.
We meet.
Okay, let's see her.
How did it happen?
Well, I'll tell you my side.
Okay, tell
Okay.
us your side.
What's your
So-
story?
I've been divorced,
Okay.
and one of my best friends, he was like, Los, hey, man, you need to get married. I said, I'm not. He said, I said, I've done it once. I'm not doing that again. I can't do it. He said, but you know, if you don't get married, you're not going to live that long. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he did tell me
you
that.
serious?
Yeah, that's research-based. It's
What?
research-based, yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Tell us about
Tell
the
us
research
again,
base.
what
What
now?
now?
That if you're married, you live longer than a single man. Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Y'all hear that, single man?
Okay,
Find a
single
wife,
men,
finds a
y'all
good
need to
thing.
get married.
Married, so you
Because
live long.
Carlos said that, what you say, Carlos?
You don't live that long. The
You don't
research
live
says.
that
yes.
long being single. Carlos back there. And Emmanuel. Go ahead.
Bible
This is,
Darius.
The Bible says it too.
that's
Yeah.
right. See,
A
we
man
got
that
some Bible
finds a
experts
good
up here.
thing.
When he finds a wife, when you find a wife, you find a good thing. That's in the Bible.
And you found a good thing.
I
didn't
did,
you?
absolutely.
That's a hot
Absolutely.
thing.
So I said, okay. So, that's when like online dating was a big thing.
Oh.
But I always thought that the online dating was like, an online club. So so it's kind of like that. So you got to
Okay.
pick and choose. It is. It's all
Yeah.
kind of interesting people.
We're going to have Carlos to talk about online dating.
It's crazy, right?
I'm pretty
So
sure.
you go out on these dates and people represent themselves one way on their profile, and then you meet them, you're like,
What the hell?
you do not look like who's on your profile. So you know, it's like 3 or 4. I was like, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. I can't do it. And then there was a prompting from God. And I was like, okay, God, if you want me to get remarried, you got to bring the person to me because I'm not doing this anymore. And I met Sabrina online the next day.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Was it a dating thing or?
Yeah, it was like I'm not gonna give a shout out to anybody because I don't want to, you know.
I know
but
what
it
you're
was
saying,
a
but
dating
it was a
site,
dating
yeah.
But it was a
So
dating site.
so you go and you look and whatever.
Yeah.
And also I changed. I had like some stuff on my profile. I didn't have a picture up because I worked like as a public official, so I said I'm not gonna put up a picture. But some of the women on there are so jaded. Oh, you must be married. I'm not married. The truth is right there. So then I put my Christian stuff on there. I said, look, don't waste my time.
Good.
I'm a
That was
Christian.
good.
I don't have time for you to try
That's
to figure out who I
good.
am and what I'm
That's
doing.
awesome.
You can either date me or not date me. I don't care.
Ooh, go Carlos.
So
I
it
like
was.
that.
And I
Wow.
also put some other stuff on there about how are you going to call yourself a Christian in your profile, but you only date certain races of men. I said, just don't waste my time.
That's good.
So
That's good. Straight to the point.
I met her the next day, and I didn't have a profile. Most they wouldn't, you know. Won't even mess with you if you put out a picture. So
Wow.
Sabrina.
I contacted her, and she said, well,
Alright.
can you send me a picture of yourself? And I didn't have any pictures just lying around or whatever. So I had my
Nobody
daughter,
never asked me that.
my oldest daughter,
Kim.
took a picture of me and sent it to her. And then she was like, yeah. So I said, do you want to go out on a date or what? She was like, sure. And then we went, our first date, we went out and we basically stayed out all night long because we went to a restaurant. The restaurant closed. Then we went to another place that was still open. And then we went to a third place because we were talking a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
so it's-
the attraction was really good.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was interesting.
It had to be for
Yeah.
y'all to go
But
from
the
one
timing-
place to
Yeah.
the next place to the next
But
place.
listen, the timing. Remember, he prayed the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Them other
and
people didn't
that
pray.
was exciting because you're right. He prayed the day before,
Yeah.
and you just decided to get back on there again.
Yeah,
or
yeah. Because
And she
I had
popped
a
up.
profile.
Oh, answer prayer.
I
That
said,
is
you know what? I'm
awesome.
going to erase all this and put the real deal on here. And if you can't get with that, I'm okay. Because I'm a very straightforward person. Some people say I'm blunt. I just tell the truth, but it's in love.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's
so
always funny.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, isn't it?
yeah, so it was. Then I met her. I'm like, oh, she might be all right. She might be all right.
Look at that smile.
Yeah, she
But let me
might
ask
be
you
all
this:
right.
when you first saw that,
Yes,
did you have a picture?
she did.
She
Yeah,
had a
I
picture.
had my pictures on
Yeah.
there. I had like 2 pictures on there.
Okay, you had 2 pictures. So
She looked
you didn't
good,
care
too.
about her being a different race.
I've never cared about that.
Okay, so
Ever.
glad she was a
and
woman.
that's from back when I was growing up because my parents really never made a difference. I mean, I'm from the East Coast. We grew up in like a military
That's
area.
it.
what do you mean
Yes.
East Coast?
Like Maryland, like
Okay.
DC,
Yes.
metropolitan area. My dad's from New Jersey.
Wow.
Yes,
My
that's
My
how
mother's
it
from
is.
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So it wasn't, and my parents, even though they went to school, like high school, like in the 50s, they went to integrated high schools.
Okay, good.
So,
good.
so it was.
that was no problem.
Yeah, it wasn't a big
Yeah.
deal. So, and I didn't know until like I went to college that my dad had married outside of his race later. Because then, I mean, you know, he talked about. I was like, what? Because you know, whatever. It was whatever. So that has never been a big issue for me. I'm more about what's on the inside,
Inside, I like
than
that.
what's on the outside. So you know, I've read the Bible, and it didn't really say anything except you shouldn't marry anybody that's not a Christian.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, if you marry someone that's not a Christian, you're going to have problems. I'm like, all right.
Unequally yoked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unequally yoked.
Yes.
Okay.
So that wasn't like a big deal.
Well, can I ask you, was your first wife racial? I mean, a different race?
She's biracial.
She was biracial.
She
too.
claims to be black, though.
Oh, she said she was black.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's
Just
enough.
throwing that out there. Yeah. I'm just,
Okay, next.
Hey. Yeah.
Okay, so then Sabrina,
Yes.
why did you want a picture of him?
Okay, so I really liked what the profile said.
Look how you looking
But-
at you, Sabrina.
For me, we had talked on
Okay.
the site, and then we had talked via text. And I said, for me, the picture isn't about, oh, you have to look a certain way. I don't have a type.
Okay.
I want a God-fearing man.
Okay.
I said, so for me, the picture is I need to make sure you're a real person.
I know that's right.
I am not a robot.
Right. So I just, you know, I said,
Are you a robot?
yes. So it wasn't so much, I just wanted to know And the truth of the matter is, I don't care who you are.
Thank you.
There still needs to be some type of attraction. You still do go, you know what? I could
Yeah.
probably be with somebody like that. You know,
Yes.
it's not to say, oh, you got to look this way or that way. So for me, I just got, I got the double portion because he was handsome. So,
Ooh,
Come
look
on
at-
now, come on.
so I was like, I might, this is a good thing right here.
Uh-huh.
So it worked out.
So the picture helped.
Yes, absolutely.
He'd already Mac. He'd already
Plus,
laid
you
the
need
Mac
the
out.
picture to make sure.
But
that
he'd
that was
already
a-
laid the Mac out. He'd already text.
Yeah.
He'd already emailed. He already put the Mac.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but she wanted to make sure the
Absolutely.
icing.
Yeah,
See, the
yeah,
picture was the icing on the cake.
But that Mac was
Absolutely.
right.
And plus, that's good because you need to know who he looked like when you walk into the restaurant. Did you pick her up, Carlos, or did y'all
met.
meet at the restaurant?
We met like individually because I don't go pick people. At that time, I'm not gonna go pick you. I don't know
Okay,
who you
that's
are.
right.
And
That's
you're
what
not
I was
gonna
going.
pick me up.
And I knew you wasn't
said
finna
you're
get
not
in no
gonna pick
car
me
with
up.
somebody. Yeah.
She said you're not
So
gonna
that's
pick
good
me
because,
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
right.
make sure, yeah.
On both sides.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That was good. So
yeah, on both
Because of
sides.
it,
what
yeah,
happened when y'all first walked into the restaurant? What'd you do? I mean,
What did I mean, I looked her up and down. She didn't know it though. Wait a
So you
minute,
did that
wait a
sneaky look.
minute,
Carlos
wait a
can tell
minute.
you exactly what I was wearing.
Oh my goodness.
what was you
10
wearing?
years ago.
What was she wearing, Carlos?
She had on some gladiator wedges. She had on some like black kind of silky pants that tied at the bottom.
Ooh, look, he
Yeah.
said tied at the
They
bottom.
were tied at the bottom, for a little extra,
So did you look at the
Well,
behind?
of course.
What you do? Let her walk in front of you?
Of course.
You little sneaky rascal,
Carlos,
you.
you didn't
Carlos
tell us
said, yeah.
Absolutely.
Carlos, you
Absolutely.
didn't tell us
I have
that,
a good
Carlos.
question. Now, even though y'all both were Christians, were y'all the same type of Christian? Like, did y'all have like the same background, or like did y'all end up changing that as
Y'all
y'all
had two
grew?
different type of
That's
Jesus.
that's so good.
I'm
because
glad you asked that.
I had been, at the time, I had been a single mom for 12 years, and I was extremely involved. I'm still very involved in ministry.
Good.
And so the church, and actually in my prayer time, and when I asked, I said, you know what, Lord, I know what the word says. I know that you should follow your husband or follow your man. I said, but I ask that, God, you bring him to me and that he will come to word of truth. And so I was heavily involved in ministry, and based on what he was telling me, he was doing Sunday school, he was doing some different things, but it was a different denomination.
Wow.
But it ended up that and by the way, not only did we stay at those restaurants all night long and into the hours, and then we went our separate ways, but we went 2 full years seeing each other every single day. So from the time we met,
Wow.
the time we dated, courted, time we got engaged, to the time we got married, it was full 2 years before we
That's a good point.
spent one day that we weren't together.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, word of truth.
I think I went out of town on business or something. It was like the first time we had ever been apart.
Wow. So it was
We
love
saw
at
each
first
other.
sight?
Yes.
Or was it,
I mean,
I mean,
when God does something, he
Won't
doesn't
he
make
do it?
mistakes. Yeah, he will.
he will do it.
Because I was frustrated. I said, oh, no, this is not going to work. Like
You didn't think it
going-
was going to work?
No, I thought it was going to work,
Uh-huh.
but all the stuff before that, I mean, people are just, with the advent of the internet, people can be who they want to be, even
Yeah,
if it's not the
you're
truth,
right.
You're
You're
right.
right.
online, and then when you meet him, you're like,
I'm lost.
that
It didn't work, huh?
Yeah, I'm like,
Because
oh,
people
no.
put anything
They
out
put
there.
anything out
Anything
there.
Absolutely.
But she told the truth.
Yeah, and then when you start talking to him, you're like, what? What are you talking
That's why I
about?
always have my real hair on the internet.
Yeah.
My real hair.
What's the
I
real
always
hair?
wear my real hair on the internet.
You don't have hair.
But
But that's her real hair.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
my
that,
hair.
that's her
I've
real
never- I've
real
never
deal.
faked. I'm
But
never
you know, when
fake.
I first met Kim, she did have hair. You had long,
just cut
pretty
it
hair.
short.
I still
Cut it
got a
shorter.
picture of you with hair. But
show
then next thing I
nobody.
know, I walked up and she didn't have no hair. I went, where's Kimberly? Do you need one of my wigs, Kimberly? But I'm glad Kimberly is Kimberly.
Kimberly
and
is
I
Kimberly.
love
Right.
that. I
Be
love it.
yourself.
Now I have another question. So the Holy Spirit obviously was all up in this. So,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
you said you wanted him to come to your church eventually. So did that
So
happen?
yes. So
Okay.
what happened is like his.
Look how Carlos.
I had the same issues with online dating. I had used some sites from before, and then I had a friend of mine who actually said, I'll pay for you to do the service. I really think you need to get out there, because I was just heavily involved in ministry.
For 12
I was a
years.
single mom of a son, and I was like, God's going to
Jesus was your
do,
boyfriend.
yeah, he's going to do what he
Jesus
needs to do. But I also know that God will send people into your life.
That's
God will have people to guide you and lead
Yes,
you
he will.
into putting the plans that he has for you. So when that happened, I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I was only on for 1 week when Carlos reached out to me.
Now what?
Wow, so you
Yeah.
had just joined it a week?
Yeah.
Won't he do
And
it?
then you and me
Won't he do it?
Yes.
Won't he do it?
Look at Carlos talking about, won't he do it?
Yes.
Won't
Yeah, but I like
he
how
do
she
it?
was patient
One
for 12
week.
years,
Yes.
though.
Won't he do it?
So
She was
yeah.
patient for 12 years. She wasn't really actively
Wow.
dating.
When you got on the site, he was there. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a divine.
That
Come on
was.
now.
For sure.
Yes, it
Come
was.
on now.
That was divine
So
because,
we
and it's
courted
good you
and-
didn't get off the site, Carlos.
I was about to.
About to.
But God knew that Sabrina was right there.
Yeah, I knew God would work it out, but I was like, hey, I don't know, God. These people out here.
My
I
girl's
might
not
have
on, he was saying my girl's not on the site just yet. My girl's not on the
It is
site
very
just yet.
Well, you know that song, My Girl, My Girl,
Talking about
My Girl. So he was talking about Sabrina. This is so awesome. Okay, so now, you all dated 2 years, you said? Or y'all been together from the first day y'all
So
met?
we met in July of 2010,
Okay.
and
So It'll be 10 years.
it'll be 9 years on Wednesday.
Wow. That's awesome. Look at the Carlos. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so now you all dated. How did people react to you all being interracial though? Did you get any negativity or
Family, friends.
family? I mean, you walk into a restaurant, did nobody give y'all that look like, oh, what is she seeing him? What is he seeing her? Y'all didn't have any of that, or
I think that, I mean, we were just talking about this, and I was telling Carlos that I think he probably observes it more than I observe it.
okay?
I'm like Carlos. I grew up in Seattle, Washington,
Okay.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity.
All over.
It wasn't about
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, power to one
Yeah,
color. It wasn't that way for me growing up either.
that's good.
And so I think he notices it more than I do.
Okay.
But I do notice it sometimes. But it's not, I feel like we've been fortunate where it's not been something very blatant or something just
Disrespectful.
rude or
Right.
disrespectful.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, if something rude or disrespectful did happen, they do not want to deal with Mr. Meekins.
Okay.
So,
Come on
Oh,
now.
what about Miss
I
Meekins?
think that's a God thing.
What about you?
Oh, no, they know
I
better.
think if it were me and him, I'm always going to turn the other cheek. But if it were
Right.
something to do with my children,
Okay,
Right.
that's
then
a
that's a
different.
whole other
Okay,
story.
that's
Right.
another thing.
and again, I've been very fortunate.
That's
even,
good.
We get more looks, I think, with the kids
We do.
than we do
Oh, really?
just
Oh, yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
Because the kids are adorable.
But what about your
They are
family? Did your
adorable.
family
That
have a
makes
problem
sense.
with you marrying?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And yours?
Not at all.
Really? Because you didn't
You
care
grown.
nowhere,
That
did
ex
you?
might
I
have
don't
had
care.
problems.
Grown.
Did your ex start being shady? They do that anyway, no matter
Oh,
what
that's
the
a
race
whole
is.
There you
other
go.
show.
Yeah, that's a
They
whole
do that
nother
in
show.
the
Look, she said that's a whole
That's a
nother
whole nother show.
How do you deal with your ex?
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother
Because
show. We
look,
got that. Y'all
that-
got to
that's
deal
They
a-
with
don't want
that.
you till somebody else wants you.
That's right. That's a whole nother show.
Now they want you.
That's a 3-hour show.
That's a 3
Yes.
We
You
have to
believe
do a
that.
part 1, part 2.
Yeah, you better
A
believe
show
that.
with the Meekins.
Yeah, that's a
blended
whole nother
family is on
issue.
steroids.
Okay, so now, what did Sabrina say?
Sorry,
Family
I
with
brought the
steroids.
wrong person. I brought the wrong person.
But,
we keeping it on the.
But that's good that you brought. You know, we have
They
to.
were
But let
online
me ask you: do y'all
interracial
have
dating.
children together?
Yes.
Yes.
We have 2 boys together.
Okay, y'all have 2 boys together.
And they are.
Noah is 7 years old.
Okay.
Sebastian
Noah.
is 4.
But they
Sebastian.
came. Did they come when y'all was?
They
here
did before, yes.
I thought they did.
Yes.
Okay,
You say
those
hi
of
to
you
them.
all 2 together.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you said you have a total of 8. So
Yeah, so I had my son
Okay.
from my previous marriage.
What's
Okay.
his name?
And he was 15. That's Tony. Hey.
hi, Tony. Okay.
And I had
then-
5.
Yeah, the 5.
So the other thing that was interesting is like when you're a guy and you have 5 kids, you know, so people will say,
Stigma.
yeah, they'll say, how many kids do you have? I'm like, 5. They're like, what? I'm like, I have 5 kids, and the one lady was like, all with the same person. I'm like, yes.
But I mean, 5 is not bad, Carlos.
It's not. It's
I
not.
did the same thing. I said, how many?
Oh, you said 5 too?
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, but it was.
Wait a minute, is this 5 not including you two, or?
He has
I have
5.
5. Jason, Kaylee, Aaron.
Previous marriage.
And then none.
Ryan,
So you
Gabby.
got 7 total.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So
a
we have
different
8
story.
Yes. Yes. And
Okay,
8
so
with Tony.
So
yes.
when wait a minute, so when he said, wait a minute. So when we met him and you said, "Do you have any children?" He said,
Yes.
"Okay." Then you
5.
said, "How many?"
I said, no, he said I have 5 kids.
5
Oh, he
kids.
said 5 kids.
Hey,
So
be upfront.
did you go
That's
ding,
it.
ding, 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 ding? Do I really want to date this man with
Well,
5 kids?
That question actually came up previously when we were texting and doing the online
Okay,
thing
so-
beforehand. So
okay.
I knew ahead.
Okay.
But once we were face to
Face, okay.
it was like you start getting into the question. So, because you have this great conversation.
That's right.
Everything's going well. You're like, okay, what's wrong with you?
yes.
So tell me what's going on. Like,
Absolutely.
so I mean, you seem okay to me. Like, you don't seem like a serial killer. So what's going on? And he's like, I have 5 kids.
I don't have time for nothing else.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, like, my kids didn't meet her for a long time.
Okay.
So it was like, okay. Because, you got to make sure people are okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what were the 5? How many boys, how many girls?
It's, how many boys is it?
2 boys.
2 boys and 3 girls.
Oh, no. Sabrina.
Danger.
Yes.
That's 2 boys and
Yes.
3 girls.
Yes.
2 bonus sons, 3 bonus daughters.
Yes.
And you didn't have no problem with the girls?
No.
No.
Kaylee
So
is
for
one-
me,
I've been trying
here's
to
what
get Kaylee
happened
on
for
the
me.
show.
When he
Wow.
said he had 5 kids, I'm not going to lie to you. The text, whatever it was email, text, however we communicated that. I was like, oh, no. 5
You had to
kids.
sit back in your seat for a minute.
I know it, but see, and the first thing would have caught my attention with the 5.
And here we are.
Huh?
Right.
I said, and here we are.
I see it. But the first thing I would have wanted to know was the 5 kids, whether girls or boys. Because my thing would be girls would give me more. I would think the girls would give me more problems
The thing
than
about
the
it
boys.
is I prayed for my son.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted a son. And
Okay.
I knew that I had just a heart for boys.
Okay.
So that didn't dawn for me. None of that happened
Wow.
because for me, I was looking at what God wanted
There you
to
go.
do.
Okay.
So if God was going to have me to marry a man that had 5 children,
You
then God
good.
had
Look,
a plan. So
Carlos,
I
you're
had
so
to.
funny.
For me, I had to focus on what is the end result of this going to be.
That's awesome.
It doesn't matter if I've been single for a certain number of years and
Yeah.
have a son. It doesn't matter if he has 5 children.
That's
we both have been
awesome.
in marriages. We both probably have baggage and issues
Yes.
that got to get worked out. But God is always
But
at the
God.
forefront.
That is
So for
awesome.
me, I didn't process any of that.
That's
I
good.
processed it after we got married.
But that was good though.
I like
But
your
some,
honesty.
but someone would have processed it before they
scared
got
off a
married.
little bit
You
by
wait till
then.
afterwards.
I processed it during the time when we met the children, but I looked at it as a blessing. I saw what those
That's
children
awesome.
needed and why I needed to
Yes.
be in their life.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
awesome. Look, go say amen.
No, that's
That is
the truth.
it
awesome
goes
though.
back to
Yes.
like, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under
Right.
the bus, but it goes back to parenting differences.
Yes.
And
Yes.
previous relationships, a previous committed relationship, where you know that your kids might not be getting what they need from whomever.
I hear you.
So it's like it's totally different because my girls took to her like it was no big deal.
Are
I mean,
you
it was
serious?
absolutely.
Now that's
Absolutely.
good.
So
you
for
raised
me,
them good then.
So for me, it was like, oh yeah, this is.
So
this
that's
is
the
it.
one.
Yeah.
See, God
yeah.
know how to put it together.
Yeah,
because-
he
But I
does.
think
that is awesome.
I think that I had a role in showing them something, but they have a very close relationship and have a certain relationship with their mother.
Good.
A biological mother, you can't take
That's
away
right.
what a biological
That's
mother
right.
can give their children. But I think when children go through divorce, like
Yeah.
my son went through divorce
Yeah.
early on. He was two years old. He was a baby. And his father was in and out of his life.
Okay.
But he's now 25 years old. But he processed that, how he dealt with that,
Yeah.
and just how he thinks about that, it made an impact.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah. So I think it's the same for his children.
Is his dad still in his life now?
He
or-
has a relationship with his dad,
Okay.
but he knows what to expect and what not to expect now that
okay.
he's older and he's
Yeah.
processed that.
Yeah.
But growing up, the kids go through what they go. I mean, we're still dealing with what our children are processing
Yeah.
from the divorce
Yeah.
and then being in now having blended families.
There you go.
Because his ex-wife got remarried as well.
Okay.
And then Tony's dad got remarried later on.
So it's a whole lot of
Oh,
blending.
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It's a whole
it's a
other
lot
show.
going
Whole lot
on.
of
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now, here is Carlos meeting Sabrina, and you already
Online dating.
online
Online
dating,
dating.
and he was in his church, right,
Right.
Carlos?
Yes.
And you was in your church. How
Yes.
did you get him to come over?
Yeah.
I invited him.
So I was heavily involved in my church.
Yeah.
I was doing like Bible study. I was doing Sunday school, all of that. And actually, the pastor asked me to apply to be his assistant pastor. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Because I didn't think it was ready. He said, you can do it. You just don't want to do it.
Okay.
I said, okay. So that was before. And then, I mean, it's good pastor, good church. And I went to her church. I said, oh, no, I can't go to my church after hearing that. I can't. I can't.
Wow.
That because it was, yeah, it was there. I was like, wow.
God,
Yeah,
God
he
set
did.
up, didn't
I
he?
said,
Did he
wow,
do
what
it?
in the world? What is going on over there? This is all right.
Look
So,
at you.
Her church was on fire.
yes.
Yeah.
It was
Fire.
It was smoldering.
Boom,
It was
boom, boom.
smoldering. Yeah, it was smoldering. But
That's
it's
good.
on fire. So, I mean,
He came
I
the
was
next
like, oh,
Sunday.
no.
He came the next
Yeah, I
Sunday.
said, oh, no, we're
He's like,
just-
I'm going to
yeah.
join the church.
And what you said? You said, thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Because you
Yeah.
was going to leave and go with him if he had stayed in his
If that
church.
was the direction. Now, at this time, we
Uh-huh.
were not engaged yet. We're still kind of courting. All
okay,
of this is
good.
still happening. So at this point, I feel like, okay, he's coming to the church. That's awesome.
And you was happy with him.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
But
good.
it wasn't pressure. It was just more.
But you know, but what's good about that is because a lot of time we have this in our mind that we have to go where the husband is.
Sure.
But that's a blessing that you was led by God to come and go with her. So you know it's nothing wrong with the men following the woman. We had that incident in our church too, where the lady came and she loved the church and they started dating. And he decided to come and visit. They wasn't married either at the time. And she told me, she came, she said, well, you know, I really don't want to leave, but I've been taught to follow my husband and all of this stuff. I said, well, that's okay. Just invite him. He came, he did just like you. The next Sunday he was there. The next Sunday then he came, and then I was walking, he came to Bible study one night. He was just checking everything out. And I was walking down the aisle, and I heard this Spirit say, he needs to teach Sunday school or teach or something, Bible study or something. And I just stopped and I said, you know what? You need to teach, I think it was Sunday school. And he looked at me, he said, what did you say? I said, the Spirit just told me to tell you need to teach, I think it was Sunday school. And he was so excited, he just started jumping around. He said, I've been in this church for so many years. They ain't never done nothing. They ain't never asked me. He said, are you serious? You would have thought I had given him $1 million. And he taught that Sunday school. Next thing I know, they joined, and his wife passed on, but he's still with the church.
Wow.
He's been faithful to the church and everything. But he was so excited because he wasn't used there. You know, so he didn't have a problem coming over. And that's something that needs to be said too, that you don't have to do the old traditional ways. If you feel like you're led to be with the wife at her church, it's okay, right, Carlos?
It's okay. Listen to God's prompting.
That's right.
Yes.
Listen to God.
Yeah.
And he'll lead you where you need to be. So don't get it
Absolutely.
in your head that I just got to, be the man thing. So I'm glad you brought that out, Carlos. I'm
Absolutely.
really glad, Sabrina, that you said that.
And
because
it's
you prayed them.
interesting that you said that because there was a child where I joined the new church, and they were like, I think they asked Sabrina, "Can you get your husband to come in here and work with this boy?" And I went in there. Because he would cry all
no.
Yeah.
service long.
All
Why?
service
I
long.
was like, "What?" She's like, "No, he cried." I said, "No." I went in there. He was just as quiet as a church mouse.
Really?
Yes.
So you knew that was your calling right
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
What you do to him, Carlos?
I didn't do anything to him.
Carlos, what you do
I would
to
talk
kids
to him
with
because
two
he was a
kids?
daddy's boy.
Yep.
Oh, and
So
he
at his
needed a
house,
daddy.
yeah, he needed a man.
Oh,
Yes.
that is awesome.
And
See,
our church has men.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
Our church has
absolutely.
men. Oh,
And-
that's Word of Truth, by the way. We go to the same church.
that's right. And what? Tell us where's Word of Truth located?
Arlington,
She's our
Texas,
administrative.
8201 Webb Farrell Road. We're doing online services right now, so we're
Okay.
streaming at 10 o'clock, Facebook Live, as well as YouTube Live.
All right, and a shout out to the pastor.
Pastor Eben Connor, Pastor
Amen.
Sarah Connor.
Amen.
Woo, woo.
All right,
Amen.
good. So y'all
Amen.
get online and then check them out, okay?
And we worked in True Kids together. That's
Yeah.
how to get our True Kids.
Yes.
Right. What is True
And
Kids?
it's for the children.
Children.
Children's ministry.
Children ministry.
Y'all, is you in the children ministry, Kimberly?
Believe it or not.
Oh, Lord, there is a God. Hallelujah. Woo, thank you, Jesus. That's me why she's on fire.
I had to make sure Stephen Sebastian stayed in there.
Oh, did
They
Right.
became good friends with Carlos. They loved Carlos. They used to call
Really?
him Dad. I think we were somewhere and they said, "Hey, Dad." And they looked at me like, "That's your dad?" I was like, "No, I'm not the mama."
They're like, okay, where's Sabrina now?
Yeah, yeah.
Where's Sabrina at? Oh, that
that's
is
funny.
awesome.
That's funny.
So what happened after you joined the church?
Well, interesting enough, like when we were dating, Carlos normally loves to tell this story. However, as we were getting to know each other, Carlos is a born leader.
Okay.
He's very direct. He's very assertive. He's a leader. He has a lot of presence about him.
Look how you grinning.
Okay, so in
tonight
that,
at the
I wasn't sure how to wrap my mind around it. And
Okay.
in my prayer time, I was like, I don't know. Lord, I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's just too much. I just don't know. I just don't
My
know
goodness.
this is real.
Okay.
This is real. This really happened. And I was like, I really don't know. He's like, tell him.
So you just open up and just share
So
with
God
him.
said, tell him.
Tell
and
him.
then God said, he has a calling on his life. And
Okay.
what I want to do in your life involves him.
Wow.
Come on now.
And so
We about to shout up in here.
I told
Okay.
him, I said, and I did, and the funniest part of it is like it was one of those dates where we shut down the places and we were in front of, I think, Waffle House. Or no,
And
we were
it
in
was
front of Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Okay.
And there was a Waffle House next door, and I was telling him this, and I was actually sitting on the back of his Tahoe.
Back of my Tahoe, which was
and
lifted.
He said,
So
Whoa.
she was going off. It's like,
What?
what's wrong with you?
me?
And I was chuckling.
Oh, she was telling you her feeling, and you up there laughing?
It wasn't feelings. It was more like angst.
It
So
more like
it
what?
probably was feelings, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out like that.
Oh, it didn't come out like that.
No.
No, I was just being very honest. I said, look.
Because it was like
I
out
said,
of nowhere.
I believe in honesty. I said, and I don't know. I just think you're too much. I think you just have some stuff I don't know that I can handle or really hang with
Was
whatever
it
is going on
spiritual
with
or
you.
was it the physical part
I
of
think
it?
it was just, I think what happens is that even though we trust in God and we put
Yes.
God first, your flesh
Talk.
is going to see things in people.
There you go.
And the enemy is also going to
Thank
distract
you.
you.
Thank you.
Come
So
on now.
at the time, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
So I was probably operating more in my flesh, which
Okay.
is why he thinks it's angst, but I thought it was my feelings.
Okay.
Being honest with him, saying, look, I'm just letting you know I don't know.
Okay. This was y'all talking about getting married or?
This was just...
Just dating.
It was
Just
about
dating.
extending the relationship and becoming more
Right.
serious.
Okay.
Basically. But it just popped up out of nowhere. I'm like, hey, come on, let's go in here. She's like, wait a minute, I need to tell you something. It's like, what? So she sat down. She had on a yellow dress.
Oh,
she
man,
sat
you
down.
y'all remember everything.
Oh,
She
my
sat and some
gosh.
sandals. She sat down on the back of my car. I was like, so after she got finished, I said, how you gonna sit down on my car and tell go up on me? I was like, and then she was like, okay, let's go get something to eat. I was like, what?
What? Are you serious? So she
Yes.
done let everything out,
Yeah.
and now she was feeling good.
Yeah, got it off her chest. I guess she felt better. Come on, let's go get something. What? are you talking about?
It's like, yeah,
so
let's
we
go
went,
Waffle House.
and there was a Waffle House.
You are
So we
awesome.
went to Waffle House and got something to eat. And I'm laughing the whole time. I'm like, this is crazy.
This is what?
Crazy. What is going on?
It wasn't
But I
that
just-
crazy because it was shortly after that he asked me to marry him.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead, finish your
So
part,
yeah,
Carlos.
that's true.
It was the yellow dress.
Carlos,
y'all.
you funny.
It was
I
the yellow
thought
dress.
Carlos would say something.
No, that's true.
That's true.
It's true. And the reason why is, you know, you I don't know about anybody else. I want somebody with a little oomph. Because if you don't have, because I got a lot of oomph. So
A lot of them.
I need somebody with some
Extra.
oomph.
To come back with you sometime.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Carlos. Let me ask you this
Yes.
because
Amen. Somebody with some backbone.
that's what I'm finna ask you, okay?
Yeah.
Because you don't really want a woman where she could be a pushover, right?
No.
Don't you want a woman? See, men need to hear this, you know, because sometimes they need that. They need to have somebody that can, hey, I can fight back if I want to,
Yeah.
you know, because you don't really want nobody to be a pushover. You didn't want that either, did
No.
you? So it comes in together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is so good to have that because my sons are single. I want them to hear that. You know,
Yeah.
so you can't
You
get a woman
listening,
that
strong
has
woman.
that
Emmanuel,
like
you
me
listening,
sometimes.
Emmanuel.
You know, but that's good that you all do. Okay, so now after you exploded on him and been that firecracker, was it July 4th? No.
There might have been some fireworks.
So you felt better after you told him that. Then you got hungry and y'all went in and ate. And you still tripping, right?
I'm not tripping. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it was just,
So-
Moved
I
on.
guess you just felt like you need to tell me that, okay, come on, let's go eat or whatever.
But
Yeah.
how do y'all communicate? Do you hold it in or do you just still let him?
I think over the years,
Okay.
I think the things that we've been through in the 9 years, good, bad, and indifferent.
Uh-huh.
I think that we have to find our way sometimes.
Okay, that's
and
good.
I know for Carlos, sometimes he thinks that my silence is the silent treatment. But for me, sometimes my silence is my time to reevaluate where I'm coming from.
That's good.
Am I
Yeah.
coming from a spiritual place? Am I coming from a flesh place?
Okay.
Because sometimes if I open my mouth
Come on.
and I know it's not where something that God would be pleased with, then I need to reevaluate and
Before you
assess
speak.
myself. Right. So I do have a tendency to marinate and think about it. Carlos can process information, get it done,
And he's done
be
with
ready
it.
to move on.
Okay.
I don't think or process that way.
Like that,
Yeah.
okay.
So we have to find that balance, I think, with each other.
That's good,
and,
though.
You know, and understanding that, like, Carlos has a thing where you'll ask him a question. He'll go, what? So you ask the question again, right? 'Cause
Right.
He said, what? So you ask the question again and say, what? And so this happens with the children too. Shout out to the kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So you'll say it louder.
Uh-huh.
And then you might even say it a little irritated because you're like, I said this twice. But
Are you listening, Carlos?
Right. It's not that he's not listening.
Uh-huh.
It's not that he didn't hear the question.
Okay.
He's processing the information.
Oh.
So now I've learned that first what is, I don't even say the question. I say, are you processing that or did you really not hear me?
Oh, okay. So now you're asking another way.
It's a different, yeah.
So what is your answer then, Carla?
I give an answer to the question. I mean, it's.
But you don't just blurt the answer out.
No. The first
Okay.
time, when I say what, I've already processed the question. I'm
Okay.
ready to go with the answer.
Okay.
And the reason why that's funny is because when I ask questions, I might ask you 10 questions in a row.
Not might.
10 questions
She
in
said
a row.
you will do it.
Yes,
So you'll
absolutely.
be asking her 10 questions.
Yeah. She's like, why are you
you still trying to
interrogating me?
process the 10 questions?
Yes.
I'm on question 1.
Okay.
He's on question 9.
He on question 9.
And I'm on 1.
One. So
Yeah.
now you all have learned how to deal with that, right?
Well, I don't ask as many questions, Jess.
So now how many you asked? 2?
Maybe 3.
3?
At least give me
You try to
three.
squeeze
That's
in
good,
4.
though. But
Yeah.
that's
But that's good though because
Yeah.
communication
Yeah.
is so good in
Yes.
marriage, especially.
It's
okay,
important.
so
because a lot of times when you hear someone say what, you think they're just ignoring you.
or the
frustrates
what
us.
is a really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, what? Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Or you get irritated by it, or you think they're not paying attention. Especially if you look at them like this and you'll ask them the question. They go, "What?" And you're like, "Well, are you not listening? Did you not read my lips? I mean, like, what just happened?"
Yeah. That's true though.
Are we going to the
Kim
store?
is very dramatic, you know.
You're
So
like-
she.
You ask, are we going to the store? And they go, what?
Yeah, we need to do a meme. We need to record that. That's good.
Because I had to kind of break my
Yeah.
kids out of it. And my husband, he does that to me. Yes, you do, Keith. You do that.
Okay,
So
a
now
shout
I-
out to Keith.
I'll just be quiet. And I'll wait.
That's it.
I'll
Yes.
ask the question.
So what does he say when you're quiet though? Does he think you're angry?
I
or-
used to go like, what? Like, he'll say, what? And I was like, well, did you not hear me? Or did I need to say it again? And now I'll ask the question, I'll wait. And I know now that they actually hear me. I think people just get used to saying what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Because the kids started doing what?
What? Okay.
So now when someone says what, I pause
Okay.
to give them a moment to process it
Process
and
it.
refocus and redirect.
Correct. Okay.
That's good.
That's good. And
'Cause
not
now
get
you get
angry over
frustrated,
it.
'cause
now.
like,
You
what?
do, absolutely.
I'm looking right at you.
You will. So you don't want to get frustrated and angry and then just go off on them.
Because
you
they
know.
could be focused on something else.
Yeah.
And they heard you, and then they'll turn and,
Because they could be thinking about something else.
because that
you
starts
know.
a lot of arguments when people are like,
Oh,
going,
yeah.
what? What?
Yeah.
And the kids going, what? Everybody going, what?
Then you say, what the hell? What the hell with the what?
You preaching, Kim.
Yeah, you know, but that's good, though, you know, and these are things that we do need to talk about because if you're trying to think what he's thinking, and he's thinking what you're trying to think, then you become assuming. And we know
Yes.
what that means.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know.
All that
So I know Carlos like, really? But anyway, so Carlos, when you're talking and she's trying to process it, you patient, right?
Yes,
Okay, you're
Maybe.
patient with her?
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Good answer.
Now she gave like a nice 5 or 6 good qualities of you. I want to hear you give some qualities that you find in your wife. She's talking about he's
He
a
done gave
leader,
a whole
he's this.
bunch.
So tell us something tell us some
She
of the qualities
hot.
besides her having the backbone. Tell us
She
some of the
hot.
qualities that
She's
you
Well,
gorgeous.
I'm gonna say this first.
Okay.
So when we went on one day, she was like, "Well, what are your requiremements?" I said, "What are you
Ooh,
talking
I like
about?"
that. That's a good question.
I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "What are your requirements for someone that you date?" I said, "Oh my goodness, what is going on here?"
Did she read my profile or something?
I said, and this is real. You know, you got
Uh-huh.
to be Christian first. But then after that, you got to look good and smell good. That's it.
Oh, did you smell good?
She did both
She
of them.
did. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you
Obviously.
ain't go,
No.
He's got a
Now,
photographic memory of
the
what she
things
shared.
that
That's good.
are the best about my wife is she's creative.
okay.
She's patient. She is very good with our children,
Okay.
the ones that I brought in and the ones that we
That's
had together.
awesome.
Amen.
She's really caring and nurturing. She always tries to look out for other people. She tries to celebrate people, like on their birthdays, whatever. I mean, just
Mother's
yes.
Day, she
Yeah, she tries to
celebrated all of
celebrate.
us.
She is good in ministry, like very good.
Excellent.
She encourages people, and she's a prayer warrior. I mean, I can go on and
Like
on.
at 15
I
already.
tell you.
And it was easy. It was effortless.
Yeah, I can
And
give
you
you some more.
didn't know.
No, I can give you some more.
You went right through and
Bonus.
But
described
if you
her.
think about it,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Right.
what I think we mess up on so much. You wanted to hear him say something about her and list it, but had you listened, I'm not saying no one saying you didn't. He was saying all along. He just did it different than
Right. Yeah.
than she did. He
Yeah.
didn't necessarily have to do the list like she did. But if you listen to him the whole time, he started off.
He said she got
He remembered the shoes. He remembered this. He remembered that little
The
tie.
dress
He
and-
was saying what was special about
About her.
her to him. Men just do it differently. But what
That's right.
happens is we always want people to say it just the way you said the way I said it. You give me 10 just like I gave you 10.
Hey, she's preaching. She's preaching.
That's right. But that is something to think about,
Because
though.
with my husband, I learned how my husband loves me is
Right.
not so much the way your
That's right.
husband loves
That's
you.
right.
But it doesn't mean my husband doesn't love me because he doesn't say or do it this way. And that's where we mess up.
There you go.
Because we're always trying to get the person to express it the same way I express it.
Right.
To
Or fall into
determine-
comparison.
Huh?
And that's true.
Fall into comparison.
That's
Right,
true.
right. And
You'll
I'm like,
see
oh my-
somebody's post, or you'll see other people, and you see how they do it, and they're like, oh,
Right.
My
It's like,
husband don't do
no,
it
no,
this
no.
way.
Right.
My husband don't do that. And you know that is so good because when I married my husband, we've been married be 38 years this year. But it was
38.
God. And then the thing
38,
of it is,
38.
we met on October the 29th, 1981. Okay? And we've been together just like you all. We was together, talked on the phone. We've been together from October 29th, 1991, all the way up now. August the 28th will be 38 years.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, that means we put a lot in there, but it was God, though. But you know, one of the things that I had to learn, because see, my husband is real quiet, and I used to think that he would be thinking stuff, and he wasn't even thinking it. And he would look at me like, you don't know what I'm thinking. Yes, I do. You thinking about another woman over there. And he'd be like, really? And he would look at me so crazy, you know, and I'll be saying, yeah, you thinking about another woman. This was in my young days,
Yes,
you know.
I know.
And then he would say, no, I'm not. I'm really looking at you. Oh.
Oh,
bit to change, you know.
Start acting right.
But we had to learn how he communicated was one way. I
Right.
communicated another way. And he didn't have to tell me every day, I love you, I love you, I love you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right,
he
right,
showed
right.
me his love, you
Right.
know.
And someone else may not recognize that.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
I didn't recognize it at 1st because I didn't grow up with my
The
daddy, because
movies.
my daddy died when I was
Right,
5.
the movies,
movies
Cynthia,
kinda paint
right,
you
the
pictures.
movies tell you
Yeah.
a way to love.
So, you know, you didn't hear that from a man because my mama was the man and the mother in the house, you know.
Yeah.
So to get it, a man that actually loved you didn't mean he had to tell me every day, I love you. I love you. But I thought that's what he was supposed to be doing. But really he was showing it because he's a working man. He was going to get up and work. Whatever you wanted, you go out there and get it. And I'm like, really? Nah, don't go crazy now. But you know, and then I had to learn this, that
That was
a
his way
man
of
didn't have to
showing you
tell
love.
me every day, I love you.
so
I
good.
love you. I love you. He would show me that he loved me. And he teaching his sons that you don't have to tell the woman, you show her your love. You know what I'm saying? So it takes
Yeah.
communication
It
in
does.
marriage.
Absolutely.
you
And it's
know?
okay
Absolutely.
if we love differently. And I think even with me, like Keitha works 16 hours a day. And I know if he came home with a bag of salad, you know those ready-made salads?
Oh, yeah, he loved
Because he
you.
had to get out of his truck, go into Kroger's or wherever he goes and get that bag and bring it back to me. And I know I was at the gym. I hadn't cooked, I hadn't done anything. I know he's in love with me.
That's right.
That's right.
I didn't cook. I was just sitting there, went to the gym, chilling, laid back. And he cut me a dragon. I ain't had nothing ready.
And he didn't say anything.
And he didn't say anything.
See?
He said, I went to Kroger's. And I was like, oh my gosh, she got me all that stuff.
And some women would have went off and, you just got me a salad? You didn't give me a Whataburger? That's all you brought us a salad?
Yeah, right. I know
See,
he
and
was
that's how-
thinking
and
about
that's
me
good.
through his entire day. I was like, oh my gosh, he'd been up since 3 o'clock. He done did this. He had time to go to Kroger's and do this and bring me this because that's
And
what
that's
I
love.
eat.
Mm.
But
That's
somebody
love.
else may not see it that
That's
way.
right.
Right.
Well, I don't always see my
Man,
see
you mean
husband.
your
You don't
wife
need to
don't cook
always
for
see-
you, you know? And that's the reason why you cannot be influenced by outsiders.
You
right.
cannot.
You can't be listening to outsiders.
Hey, you'll miss the love
because
God has
the
for
way
you.
Carlos loves Sabrina is not going to be the same way my husband loved me
Apostle.
or your husband loved
Right.
you.
That's right.
So you can't be listening to that, girl, if it was me, baby, I shut it off and said, girl, I'm glad you're not me.
That's it.
Okay, because I'm still married.
Because so many
All right?
women miss
Amen.
love.
Come on
They
now.
miss
You know what I'm
love.
saying?
Yeah.
I used to hear that
That's a
all the
good point.
time, you
That's
know?
a good
You miss
point.
Girl,
love.
you need to do this and that. And I almost divorced my husband. Listening to
That
the
foolishness.
foolishness, you
Right.
know?
That
Come on.
foolery,
And then
foolery,
God had to
foolery.
bring us together and say, no, I joined you all together.
That's
and
right.
then we went to this lady, prophetess Kim, I love you. And
Not
she
me,
said,
not me.
no, not this Kim,
Not this-
prophetess Kim. And she said, no, you're not going anywhere because God has something for you and your husband. So you're going to have to sit your little behind down. Divorce is not going to happen.
Come on now.
Amen.
And I thank God for that because we wouldn't be in the ministry right now. We wouldn't be pastoring. And I tell people now, you communicate with God and leave that other outside.
Yep.
Don't be
Amen.
listening to that
Yes.
because, see, they could have told you all not to get married because y'all are not the same race.
Yeah.
They could have easily told you all that. But what God put
Or she
together,
don't go to your church.
it ain't going. It's like, oh, no, y'all about to make me, whoa, preach up in here.
Hold your wig, hold your wig,
hold
hold
your
your
wig,
wig, hold your wig on. Hold your wig on. Hold your wig
But
on.
this, I mean,
Oh, my
I
goodness.
love it because you
so
all
cute.
really didn't experience any kind of racial stuff that you all could just say. This was really a racial thing towards our marriage. You all didn't. Y'all,
It's
y'all
out there,
was
though.
blinded to
It's
that.
It's
out
out there. And
I know it is.
And it comes up like in weird places. So at work one time, and I'm working in the school district, people are supposed to not recognize that
Yes.
or recognize it for what it is and move on. And I was in the HR now.
Okay. That they said
HR.
you're not supposed to
Yeah,
discriminate
yeah.
and all that
HR.
good stuff. Come on.
So I guess the lady had seen, she was, a Caucasian woman, and she had seen my wife. So she was like, can I ask you a question? I thought it was going to be a question about work or something. I said, sure. She said, what's your wife's nationality? I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I know you did not ask me that. So I told her, I said, she's an American. She said, what? I said, she's an American.
I did what she did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to give you the answer you're looking for. That's none of
Wow.
your business, number one.
You should have said black.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
yeah.
playing.
It's none of your business.
You
number
probably
one.
was like, what?
Yeah. So it was crazy. And then
boldness.
and then another time at work, I don't know why people ask me. They know not. Yeah. So
I would
anyway,
ask you that, Carlos.
so this guy asked me one time. He said, because he saw Sabrina drop me off at work, and he looked in the car. He was like,
Is that your sister, man?
yeah. He was like. I said, what? He said, is that your wife? I said, yes. And we had been talking about, like, God and Jesus and Christianity and all that.
Of course.
It's a black dude.
Uh-huh.
He was like, what's it like being in an interracial marriage and going to a black church? I was like, what? You don't even know what kind of church
Church
I
you
go
going to, right.
Right.
He just assumed
Yeah,
that
he
you was in a
assumed.
black
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
Right.
And our
Oh.
church is very diverse. Our
It's
church is very
diverse.
diverse.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we got some of everybody up in there, right?
I hear
So
you.
I was like, I said, it's no big deal. And I walked off. I'm like, what is-
Really? This is
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, right.
Wow. You
Yes.
see all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they
So
could be
both-
anybody.
both-
And they go,
That's right.
So if it's bothering somebody enough or rubbing them the wrong way or whatever, then if they have something inside of them
Yeah.
Exactly.
that is disturbed about who God put me with,
Come
first
on.
of all, that's none of your business.
That's
God
right.
knows what he's doing. He doesn't
That's
make
right.
mistakes.
Right.
So I am not, the Bible says a kind word turns away wrath, so I'm not going to get all bent out of shape.
That's right, because that's your
Right.
wife.
Yeah.
And you're not going to even worry with
No,
that.
no,
Oh, God,
not at
the
all.
time has went by so fast.
This is good.
But this is really good because
It's juicy.
I had an interracial couple on years ago, and they experienced a lot of problems. And I'm going to have them back on again, but they experienced a lot of problems.
Wow. It's unfortunate.
And yeah,
It's
and
kind of like Dr. Augustus said, I wasn't looking for it.
right.
If
You
you're not
know,
looking for
and you
what
don't
it
look
is,
at it because being a Christian, you don't see, well, you're not supposed to see color, period.
Come on.
You know, because we are all created in God's image, and you shouldn't see color, because sometimes they might think I'm interracial. I tell them, yeah, I have Indian in me, so when I don't want to be black, I'd be an Indian. And they be like, are you really an Indian? I say, yeah, look at my nose or cheekbones or something, And then they look at me like, really? And my husband, sometimes he get accused of being Hispanic, and they be like, really? You're African American? We thought you was Hispanic. And to tell you a true story, he was working one time over in this little town here close to Fort Worth, and they was coming through raiding, looking for immigration, right? And they was actually trying to put him in the white van. And my husband kept telling, I'm not Hispanic, I'm not a Mexican. They said, oh, yes, you are. You look just like them.
Wow.
He said, no, I'm not. He said, I'm American. He said, no, you look just like. He had to literally pull out his driver's license
Wow.
and show him his driver's license that he is black, because he's a little lighter than me, and he got the freckles in the face, and I thought that would have did it right there with the freckles. But anyway, he said, baby, they almost got me. I said, who almost got me? He said, they was about to put me in the van and take me back and say I was over here. He said, what were you going to do? I said, baby, ain't nothing I could do but just wave and He said, you wrong for that. You were supposed to be coming and give me. I said, baby, I would have came down there and fought for you. But you never know. You never know, because people could look at you and say, hey, because you go to Louisiana, You know, you could pass for whatever you know. Yeah, Creole, you could pass for that. So, you know, it's not about that. It's about who you are, who you belong to. And, hey, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. So, hey, whatever color. I go down lines, they say black, white, Mexican, Hispanic, whatever. What other? I check other. You check other, yeah, I'm all of the above. And they look at me like I'm crazy. Because I tell them all the time, Sabrina, I told my husband years ago, we getting ready to close. I said, baby, let me tell you something. You don't have to go out and play off. He said, I'm not going to do that anyway. I said, so I'm going to bless you. He said, how? I said, I'm going to be any woman that you want me to be. He said, what? I said, I'm going to go buy all these wigs. And I'm not going to discriminate. I'm going to go get a blonde wig to represent the white race. I'm going to go get me a multi-color wig to represent the Hispanic. I'm going to get me a black wig to make Afro wig. He said, baby, you crazy. I said, I'm going to be every woman you want. So I'm going to just change my wig, okay? So he's got, let me see, 30. We've been married 38, so he got 38 women, Carlos. And all he do is push that button and I jump out.
Oh, wow.
Hey, so
Come on now.
I just changed my wig. And he's still smiling.
He's like, Mom.
Keeping it
He's
fresh.
still smiling.
Keeping it fresh.
Mom.
Huh?
I said keeping it fresh.
That's right. I keep it fresh for him. He don't know. I get medium. I got in-between hair. I got long hair. And I went to work one day and I changed all my wigs one day. I went to short hair, medium hair. This one walked up. She said, Miss Kirkwood, how is it that your hair is short one day, it's medium one day, and then you got long hair? And I was tripping. I said, is she really serious? And I figured out she was serious. She said, I can't get my hair to grow like that. And I said, this baby is really serious. So I didn't want to bust her bubbles real good and say, girl, you crazy? And I said, you know what, baby, let me tell you what you do. I said, listen to me, Crab. She said, what? I said, W-I-G-S. And she said, W-I-G-S. Wigs! I said, yes. She said, no, you lying. Those can't be wigs. I said, yes, baby. They are W-I-G-S. She said, out of 3 days, I was trying to figure out, how did you have a short wig, a big wig, then you came in there with a long wig? She said, I be blank to blank. I said, well, you be that, but go to the wig store, baby. You know, but I couldn't believe she actually didn't realize that. But
really nice.
wigs, lady, will spark your marriage. Just change your wig, and you will have 38 years of happiness. All right?
Hey, that's the
But
secret.
we want to thank Sabrina and Carlos Meekins for being on the show tonight.
Yes,
And we're so glad that they are born again Christians,
Yes.
that they have not experienced any kind, well, some I'm pretty sure, but not a lot of racism, because they are joined together by the blood of Jesus. And
Amen.
no weapon formed against them shall prosper.
Amen.
So thank you all
Amen.
for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for having
Now,
us.
before we leave, what advice could you give to other interracial marriages out there? Because we know it's some out there.
And online
And people
dating
that are
isn't
waiting.
bad after all.
And online
Right.
dating is a
And people that
bad.
are waiting for
Yeah,
their
so tell us
happy ever
what could you share? Because there's some out there that want to get married, but they question, should I marry
Or should
out
I
of
go
my
online?
race, or should I just...
What should I
I would recommend that you pray first.
Thank you. Pray.
Good.
Because I was in a place where I was like, I'm not getting married. So, and I asked God to send me somebody, and God will do what he said he's going to do.
That's
The
right.
answers to prayer are yes and amen.
Yes.
So he will do what he needs to do. And then after that, you may experience some problems from your family or whoever, but you know, God is in control ultimately. And
Yes,
God
he is.
does not determine who's good and who's bad based on race. That has
That's
nothing
right.
to do with it. It has to do with what's on the inside of a person, not on the outside. So it's, I mean, if you find someone who is not
good.
your race or ethnicity and they have the qualities that you enjoy as a person, I mean, don't let ethnicity or race deter you from getting to know that person.
That's
right.
That's good.
What you say, Sabrina?
Well, it's funny that he said those things. Those things are all true, and I concur. But one of the things we tell the children, especially when, like Kaylee and Aaron, Tony, they were in their teens, and Jason, all of them, and they're young, they don't know, they want to date and see people, all that. And one of the things Carlos would always tell the kids is, you got to find somebody. If you like to roll in the dirt, then you got to find somebody else that likes to roll in the dirt.
I like that.
So you've got to find people that are like-minded.
Yes.
And so for me and Carlos, where we were in our walk with God was to find people. We wanted to have somebody that was also like-minded and wanted what God wanted.
That's good.
And that's what brought us together. And I think that's true for any
That
couple.
is. That's good.
If you put God first and you will say, God, just lead me, and he'll direct you. It doesn't matter what color the person is.
That's right. And that's good. And, that's what I share with my sons, the same thing you said. I said, get you somebody that's like-minded. If you in photography, ask God to give you somebody that's in photography. I tell them to pray all the time, specific. Don't just say, give me a woman.
Well,
Describe the kind of woman that you will like. He said, ask.
yes.
Describe the kind of woman you like, because he'll give you whatever. He'll give you a woman. That woman might give you hell, and you'll be divorced or whatever. But be specific. I tell them all the time. They'll tell you. I say, be specific. And I pray for specific for them. One of my prayers, Lord, just let them like me.
Amen.
Lord, I do. I said, Lord, please let them like me, so they won't have to be going through all that, because whoever they marry, that's them, because they'll be in their household. But I do want them to like me.
Amen. That's real.
I really do. So I ask God that. But thank you all for being on the show. This time always goes by fast on the Talk of Life talk show. And we need y'all to come back again, because some people need to hear the spirituality that you all share. And Carlos, I love the way you just keep smiling. I just love it. That means he really loves this woman.
I do.
I know you
Amen.
do. And I can tell you love him too.
Yes,
I can just feel the love on y'all.
Amen.
I should have my husband, but he got to work for my wigs. He's not working for that wig, baby. But anyway, thank you all. Remember, every Monday, 8 p.m., join in on the Talk of Life talk show with Elma. If you would like to be on the show, check me out at elmatalkshow.com. And what?
I was going to say, if anyone wants to talk to you guys about Internet, can they find you on Facebook or anywhere if they have questions to ask?
Me, yes. My husband is a private
somebody watching the
person.
show may just want to ask.
But yeah, I'm on Instagram, Bree is Bree. And then I'm also on Facebook. You can just look up by my name.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and she doesn't mind answering you all questions, because there's nothing wrong with marrying out of your race, but make sure that they are a Christian.
Amen.
Make sure, because this is a Christian-based talk show. All right, shout out to my sons back there, Emmanuel and Carlos. Thank you all for being a part of the Talk of Life talk show. Thank my niece, TC. And we just love you all. May God bless you and keep you. We're about to get out.